Hi everyone, it's Renee and I have a March layout share. I've done about 7 pages so far this month. I'm not sure how many more I'm going to do. The end of March is a really busy time for me. So I thought I would share now while I had the time. I'm involved in a couple classes too, so I thought I would share a little bit about those. This first one, I got the idea from Pinterest. It was a piece of cardstock and then like tone-on-tone mist. And I didn't like just one color, so I've got 2 colors of yellow and an orange. I think the orange is they're all Mr. Huey's, but the middle color, the orange color, is Sunset. And then I took these photos. My kid was assistant stage manager in our play, and they have a little board that shows all the behind the scenes. So I took a picture of him with his board there, and I made them really small because they were iPhone photos and they weren't very good. So I just kind of made a film strip, and the stripe paper was a scrap. And then I used a bunch of sequins, kind of to be like, I don't know, the play was hair, so it was like kind of mystical, trippy, dippy, 60s. So I kind of like the tie, almost like a tie-dye look from the mist. And then, because it was a play, I used some Teresa Collins sequins from the memorabilia. The little enamel dots are basic gray. The stars are Doodlebug. I was trying to go with that kind of, it's not monochromatic, but not analogous, but you know, on the color wheel where they're all 3 kind of next to each other, that's kind of the look I was going for. The stickers that say assistant are like really old Fancy Pants Beach Babe. And then the arrows and the little smiley faces are Freckle Fun. That's the first one. The second one I kind of started, back in January. And this is me, my daughter, and my husband at New Year's Eve. The paper is like Stormy Night, Basil, and then the papers are from the Fifth and Pine by Basic Gray. And I just wanted to do like a big collage of all of our photos from the night. And then I used some American Crafts glitter tape, some glitter thickers. I think those are Dear Lizzie. And then the big stars are Tim Holtz. So just a really quick, easy page about our New Year's Eve. Now, this one I am not quite done with because I get the Freckle Fine kit, and there's a stamp that says Burr, and I know it's somewhere. I can find every single stamp except that one, so this one's not quite done yet. But it's just a picture that I took on InstaWeather, and a picture of my dog who loves the snow. And then the papers are all from like last year, Winter Park, Echo Park, by Lori Whitlock, as are like the stickers and that border at the bottom. And then the red is part of that paper pack too, the Winter Park, as are the stickers. And what else? Oh, there's some old thickers. And then I don't know how good you can see, but then the polar is that old, those old DIY thickers, and then I used some American Crafts glitter on there, trying to make it look kind of frosty. But that one I want to do some stamping yet, and I haven't been able to find that stamp. So I imagine as soon as I put it in the book, I will find that stamp set. And then I'm taking 2 classes at Big Picture Classes this month. This one is called Outside the Pocket by Monica Bradford. Well, this layout's inspired by that. And her class is all about using the Project Life cards and the Cut Apart cards in a different way. And one of the first week one of the layouts she showed was, to show the hidden journaling, just to have a card sticking out behind the page. And this layout is about me going to Milwaukee. My sister-in-law was very, very gravely ill, and me going to Milwaukee to support my brother. And so I took this picture from the guest room, or the day room for the families, and I didn't really want to use a picture of my sister-in-law because obviously she was not feeling so good, but I still wanted to kind of document some stuff about that time. Thankfully, she's doing a lot better now, but it was a pretty trying time for our family, and I was the only one that could go to Milwaukee to support my brother. So I have a card with a parking pass from the hospital, and then the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, those are all from the Freckle Fawn kit, and those are the things that the days that I was there. I used the new Heidi Swap. I think it's Hello Today. Anyway, it's the new one that you can get at Michael's. So all the papers are from that collection. And then the clouds and the stars are from the Freckle Fawn as well. And then I also tried to use the new white Heidi Swap. I don't think you can really, maybe you can see a little bit in the splatters. And then the Splash Mr. Huey. But the journaling will just be tucked in right behind here. So that was the first week of the class, and then the second week she challenged us to use a T formation. Well, mine is a little bit a skewed T because I had these pictures of my daughter and my grandmother forever, and I still need to write a little more journaling, but basically this is about how my daughter, about my grandmother, before her funeral, her brother came over with a whole bunch of old pictures that none of us had ever seen. And the first thing we saw when we were looking at the pictures is how much she resembled my daughter. So I'm going to do a little more journaling on that brown card. That was a cut-apart sheet. The main page here is that new Heidi Swap, and that brown card is a cut-apart card, and I just rounded the corners. And then the gray is from the Amy Tangerine cut and paste, the mini kit, Project Life. The frame is from Maggie Holmes. A lot of the vellum shapes are Maggie Holmes. The stickers are Jenny Bolin. The letter, says resemblance. Yeah, that's it. And then those labels are Studio Calico, and the Love This is New Dear Lizzie, and that lovely sticker, probably can't see it, that is Old Dear Lizzie. I think it's from like Neapolitan, that sticker book, maybe, or Polka Dot Party. I'm not sure which one. Anyway, so that is my T formation. But yeah, I really wanted to get that documented because I've had that for like 10 years. That picture of my daughter's from like 2003. So I think 2004 is when my grandmother died. But yeah, they are like the spinning image of each other. And they even had the leopard hats and coats, so it was pretty cute. And then that, I'm also taking Stacy Julian's class called Inspired Scrapbooking, and this month it was about using or telling a story. And I've had these photo and the card of my grandmother and my grandfather. This is on the opening day when they opened their laundromat, probably sometime in the 60s, I'm guessing. I have a little blank spot in my journaling for that. And then my grandma saved everything. So she also saved all the postcards that they sent out to announce their new business. But the main thing in Stacy's class is telling a story. So my story was my grandma Seal was working in the laundromat, and she got a call from my grandma Lou, who's my dad's mom, saying that I was born. And she announced it by calling up my grandma and loudly announcing, "We're mutual grandmas." So, and that's kind of, they were always, my grandparents always kind of got along. So that was kind of nice. But also talking about, I didn't really know my grandpa, and he had a lot of businesses. He died a few weeks after I was born. But also my grandma also worked in my Uncle Jerry's laundromat, like in the 80s, and that was one of my first jobs, was working in my Uncle Jerry's laundromat. So quite a few stories being told there, thanks to Stacy. She inspired that. All of this is kind of vintage. It's the Simple Stories Vintage Bliss, because I was having a really hard time getting motivated. I've had all these photos and memorabilia for like a long time, like 5, 7, 8, maybe even 10 years now, and I just don't like you felt like you had to use brown a lot for vintage stuff, and this was kind of inspiring me to this Vintage Bliss, kind of like, it looks a little happier than like brown everything. So there's that one. And then that kind of inspired me to do another page. Michael's has that Vintage Collectors collection out by Die Cuts with a View right now. And I was really inspired by those papers. And these are pictures of my great-grandfather Pete and my great-grandma Lucy on their wedding day. And I have a little blank spot where I have to ask my mom about the date there that I'm going to put on that little tab there. But all of this is the Vintage Bliss, except for that little tab is from My Mind's Eye, Sweetest Thing. And then those little silver flowers are from Jolie's Boutique, and I used those on another wedding, just my cousin Mark's wedding, like about 6 or 8 months ago. So, and then I wanted to do some stitching because that's fabric paper, and I used silver thread, and I don't have a sewing machine, so I used the Tim Holtz ruler, and it's got all these little holes on the side. And I poked all the little holes, and it took me forever to do this. But it's kind of a special picture. These are copies. These are not the originals. But that's of my Grandpa Pete and my Grandma Lucy, who are my great-grandparents, on their wedding day. And I think those are all the ones I did for this month. But I wanted to show you another layout kind of with that Vintage Bliss from Studio Calico. And this is my Grandpa Pete, and we just showed you at his wedding day, and this is me as a baby. And I was I'm kind of obsessed with him. I have a lot of photos of him. And I went to Italy in 2003 with my sisters, and we saw the homeland where my grandpa came from, and met our family and stuff. So this is just talking about how I went to Italy, and I got really obsessed with finding out stuff about my grandfather. And then my dad later told me, "Oh yeah, we used to take you over there as a baby, and you guys were like really bonded and stuff." So yeah, so this is another page that was inspired by storytelling, Stacy's storytelling. Use some really, really old Heidi Swapp ghost letters, but the majority of the stuff here is the Vintage Bliss. And then I just want to show you one more layout that I did quite a while ago, and it's about my grandparents, but this is kind of what I thought that it had to look like. I'll show you. So I thought like all these layouts had to be like brown, and I mean it kind of fits with this layout because my grandpa was a logger, and that was another one of his businesses. And there's all the logging trucks in the 50s. And my grandma saved everything. So those little pieces of paper, those are the actual invoices that they used to use when they were working in their business. But see, it's so brown, and it was kind of uninspiring. So yeah, I found some new motivation to make some new pages from Stacy's class. So that's my layouts, plus a couple extras, that this brown one and the other one of my Grandpa Pete that I'd done previously. But now I'm kind of newly inspired to break out those vintage photos and tell some of the stories. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed looking at my pages. I know I enjoy looking at everyone else's. So I hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.